Welcome back to Wave 3 Listens. I've been looking forward to this reunion with two of my friends, Lisa Innenbach, who is a registered nurse and also owner of 25 Again by Body Shapes Medical, and my friend Todd Sharp. If you've been in this community for any length of time, then you probably know Todd, especially maybe you have a daughter or someone who's been involved in spirit groups at the University of Louisville or at Floyd Central High School. This guy is a true champion. All right, before we start this conversation, I was going back and forth with the UK fan, and they were trying to say, oh, how much they've won. How many championships have you won, Todd?
Well, I don't want any anti-UK thing happening.
No, I'm just saying. I was trying to just put up an argument here.
Yeah, but we'll be truthful. I mean, the Ladybirds have 17 national championships.
Wow.
So I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. You're a very humble guy. But that's attractive. We're going to talk about something. Todd looks better than I've ever seen him look, and that may be due to the fact that he's been a member at 25 Again by Body Shapes Medical for 4 years now. Lisa Innenbach is here. All right, Lisa, before we get into Todd's story, for those who have never seen you on the air, now, you've been on this show quite a bit. We have a good time.
Right.
But for those who are not aware of exactly what you do, tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. I'd love to. I'm sure most people have seen me, but that's okay. I love to explain what we do because it's so exciting and it just keeps getting better. We keep expanding, and the reason is we give you back what you had when your body was 25, hence the name 25 Again by Body Shapes Medical. When you start to age, you will start to lose vital hormones that your body needs. Well, guess what? That is going to set you up for disease in the future. In fact, you only have, past age 40, about 50% of what you had, testosterone specifically, that you did at age 25. We know that women, #1 killer is heart disease, and what are we very, very low in? Testosterone. And there's other vital hormones as well that we check. And those things can also produce age-related diseases such as cancer. My mom died of ovarian cancer back in 2001, way before I was involved in the hormone world. There's heart disease, there's depression, there's Alzheimer's, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. These age-related diseases can be prevented. Now, most people come to us because they have symptoms. Sometimes they think we're just a weight loss company, and I like to get rid of that myth. We're not. If you have weight to lose, that's certainly inflammation in the body. We certainly want to take care of that because you're going to be at your best if you're not overweight, obviously. But a lot of times people say, okay, well, I'm not sleeping through the night and my energy level's low and my muscle tone's gone. I used to be able to build all this muscle, men especially, and my focus is gone. I've got this brain fog. My sex drive isn't there. I've gained weight and I'm doing all the things that I used to do when I was younger, and it's just not working. I'm stressed out. Women and men both have hot flashes, believe it or not. All this is hormone related. So what I want to say to you is you need to get those hormones in check, but you need to make sure that you're doing everything that you can because all the hormones are going to add up. It's not just a little progesterone or a little testosterone or a little estrogen. I know there's a lot of places out there, and that's kind of what they do, and I call it dabbling in that. This is what we do. We are experts in this. We work collaboratively with your physician if needed. We work with any illnesses that you might already have, and if you don't have any illnesses or you're not overweight, don't be fooled. Your hormone levels are still going down. They start going down at age 35. They will continue to go down, and unless you replace those hormones, you're not going to have the body that you had when you were younger. I love the analogy with the car. What's going to happen if you don't put gas in and you don't change the oil and you don't do maintenance, or a house? It's not going to run the same way that it did. Your house isn't going to look the same. You have to do maintenance on yourself, and that's what we're all about, but we want it done safely and effectively.
All right. Now, let's get to our man, Todd Sharp. Todd, okay, you're a coach. You're a motivator. You are somewhat of a perfectionist, and I mean that as a compliment. You're a father. You're all of these things. You're probably the last person I would guess that would be a member at 25 Again, because I say, what does this guy need? You're a high-energy guy. I've seen you at work. So I think this only proves what we talk about a lot, is it's not your fault. It can happen to anyone. So, Todd, prior to going to 25 Again, how were you feeling? What kind of symptoms were you feeling?
You know, starting about 3 years before I started with 25 Again, I just noticed that I was always tired. You know, I didn't sleep well, so that's the predominant factor. But my stress level was high. I was becoming the classical grumpy old man. You know, but it was mainly energy that I noticed. And, you know, I have a great personal trainer that I've worked with for years, and you know, at one point I was over 300 pounds. So
that's hard to believe.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't walking the talk. You know, I'm hard on the kids I coach and want them to live their best life and be the best they can be. And you know, coaching is stressful. I think we've all seen. So you know, but I really noticed. You know, the bottom just fell out. It was like it really, for me, that magic number was like 42. The bottom fell out, and I just felt completely different. 6 months.
I'm curious because a lot of folks have seen your reality show, and you are the star of So Sharp. Was that part of the motivation, Todd? Is you are highly visible. You're in I guess an occupation where it is very physical, a lot of physicality involved. Mm-hmm. Was part of that motivation because hey, I'm in front of a lot of folks. I am very visible in the community, or was it just something for yourself and for your?
Well, they say the camera adds 10 pounds, and that's a lie. I mean, for me, it clearly added 50 pounds. So, even right now, sitting here, but, I will say it's, you want to talk about a moment of truth, and I'd made great leaps and bounds, prior to that. But even then, it put in perspective that I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And I've made great strides since we wrapped filming season 1. For me, I'm on testosterone replacement therapy, and once I went to 25 again, and they did. What I love is that people ask me questions because I'm screaming from the rooftops. People are saying, you're building muscle, you're looking stronger, you seem to have all this energy. How is this happening? So I'm screaming 25 again from the rooftops, and then I get the the naysayers and the questions. But the testing, the medical experts. This is not just any Yahoo's running.
No, it's professionally run.
So,
no question.
do regular blood work and stay on top of things. But my testosterone was literally half what it should have been. Wow. And it's amazing, what that does to someone. Mm-hmm. And, I think it's one of those scenarios. I think about how many people are probably out in the community that don't even realize that they're feeling the way they're feeling because of hormones that they're lacking.
So, but just someone like you, Todd, and I've known you for a long time, you do have high energy levels. It's almost a comfort to know, hey, this does happen to everyone. We're not an anomaly, we're not different, everyone's the same. And as you mentioned, there's little thresholds. He said about 42 or so. You told me if you're over 40, now give me the thresholds that you found to be true. Medical studies show if you're 35, you probably need us, meaning your hormones are starting to go down. And you may or may not feel the effects. You may or may not feel the effects at all. I'm going to be honest. Some people, I guess, the decrease is so gradual, and I think they just don't even realize. And again, they'll come to us for symptoms, but it's really preventative. But the tagline is, if you're 35, you probably need us. If you're over 40, you definitely do. There is no exclusion. I've heard people say, well, do I do it? Maybe I do. Well, I think I feel okay. And maybe I'm sleeping through the night. I'm not overweight. I probably don't need you. But I guarantee you, if you come see us, you're going to learn more about your health than you probably want to, and that's okay. We're going to spend an hour with you. We spend an hour with everyone on the initial consultation, and if we need to spend that much time with you thereafter, we can as well. So we're going to talk to you about not just testosterone and, like I said, estrogen and progesterone for women. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to look at the thyroid. We're going to look at your D3 levels. We're going to look at DHEA, magnesium. We're going to look at your regular blood counts that have nothing to do with hormones to make sure those are safe too. For men, we're going to look at the PSA. That's a prostate cancer marker. Some men have come in and their PSAs were a little bit high. We've caught some cancer really, really early. The good news is it's very treatable. They were never going to go to the doctor. We've gotten letters from men saying, you saved my life. This is very curable. They were able to go on and get released to do hormones. So everything, like I said, is very medically supervised. We do, that is what we do. We do hormones, and we do hormones only. So if you go somewhere and they're given testosterone or maybe this or maybe just a little bit of that, make sure that you're getting what you pay for. Make sure it's as comprehensive. We're going to do 3 pages of labs before we ever let you start anything. And that's for everybody. And again, I promise you, if you're over 35, the levels are probably going to be a little bit low. If you're over 40, you're likely going to have about 50% of what you should have. Everybody's story is a little bit different. Everybody's piece of the puzzles are going to fit together a little bit different. But generally speaking, your levels are going to be low. They just are. There's nothing you can do about it except replace them. And we want to do that bioidentically. And by that, we just mean it's made in a compound pharmacy, which we have our own now, and is matched molecule for what your body makes, so you're not going to reject it. Synthetic hormones, you're allowed to be on for a year or 2, and studies have shown that can cause some cancer in the future, so they pull you off of them because they don't want you on there long term. I want to do something protective for my health and my family. I want to be the best mom, the best sister, the best wife, everything that I can be, and this is the way to do it. All righty. After the break, Todd is going to show you. When he coaches the Ladybirds, now he does handsprings. He can do roundhouse. So he's going to do it right here on camera. If you have a question for Todd or for Lisa, 571-5263. We'll be back. 25 again, more with Todd Sharp and Lisa Innenbach right here on Wave 3 Listens. We're live.